Hello, very good morning to you. It is Wednesday. Yes, it is Wednesday, just in case you're wondering what day of the week it was. And if you're wondering what the time is now 11 o'clock in Spain, 10 o'clock in the UK. And if you're in another part of the world, whatever time zone you're in. Fantastic. Very, very good morning to you. Hope you're well and welcome to Cafe Clairvoyance. This is the spiritual astrology show. Spiritual astrology morning. I'll try and say that quickly. Anyway, yes. So what happens today? Well, I'm inviting my great friend, and absolutely very talented astrologer and psychologist, Guillemar. She comes onto the show with me very shortly. And we'll be discussing your charts. We'll be discussing the astrological climate. We'll be discussing everything's going on there. And look at you people, you're on already. Sally Mardell is up and ready. The sun is shining and she even sends a little kiss. How's that? Your day is just going to start off right. That's it, Sally Mardell. You're spreading the love, spreading the sunshine. And here's our little intro. You social little lot. What do you like? I mean, there's loads of you on at the moment, and we've got the producer saying, hola, hola, good morning to everybody. And yes, I think you deserve one of these this morning, just looking at you. Yes. Yeah, I think you deserve one of these. And yes, don't forget, when you actually tune in this morning, this is what you need. Thank you. Can I have one of those? Thank you. That's it, just up to there. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. That's it. You need a cup of coffee. Good. Anyway, so how are you? You look well. You look well. You do. Yes. That's nice to know, isn't it? That you look well. Yes. From here, I can see you look well. Even if you're still in your PJs. Even if you're just relaxing by the pool. Even if you're at work. I won't tell the boss. No, won't tell the boss. And even if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. Great, fantastic. Let us know what it is. we won't say a word. Honest. Anyway, you're all saying hello this morning, and we've got Paul Sarrett, Honey Monster, is here, and we've got Susanna. We'll say hello. We also everybody's saying hello to everybody. Look at this. You're so interactively saying hello to everybody. This is fabulous. Good morning, Carol, and good morning, my good friend Helen. She was on with me last night. What a fabulous show that was. And yes, I think you need a little bit of round of applause for Helen because that was very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. And also Sarah says, hi. Hi, Sarah. Hi to you all. And Marlene says hello. Bev Angus says, hello and good morning. Good morning to you too. So here we are. We're almost the middle of the month. Middle of the month of July. Where is this year going to? I was actually talking to one of my fellow dog walkers the other day, and he says here, first of all, there was Navidad, which is Christmas in Spanish, and now we're in the summer, and before you go like that is Navidad again, Christmas again. Oh dear. The thing about growing older, time just seems to fly by, doesn't it? And yes, right. Okay. So without further ado, I think it's about time I invited my guest on because we've got loads to talk about this morning. And yes, I'm sure you'll love the interaction, and we always love a good discussion with Guillermo. So here she is, there on the far side of Javier, with her star charts, looking up at the sky at this present moment in time, working out the angles of your charts. She's also there with a cup of coffee. She's also there studying the phases of the moon. Here she is, coming from the far side. This is Guillermo. Good morning.
Good morning, Phil. Good morning, everybody.
I hope you like the intro. I'll try to make them better every week, see what else I can do here. There you go. Very good morning. And yes, everybody's saying good morning. Isn't this lovely? And quite a busy morning this morning. I mean, there's a lot going out there planetary-wise, a lot astrologically, and your readings are reflecting a little bit about what's going on around us here. and a talk and discussion I was doing on Sunday, which has come back up again, and we were talking this morning a little bit about this, is about attachments to things that the things we need to let go of in order to progress, to go on here, whether this is personally, professionally, or whatever. But all these energies are around us, aren't they? And I think that we are coming through these particular times where sometimes it's yes, we need to talk about this. So come into the cafe. Look, it's just in here. Come and join us in here. There, I'm going to get my finger right. Yeah, come in here. Look, come in here. That's it. You're on your way. Just sit down. Take it easy. Just relax. Enjoy your cup of coffee, and let's have a good Cafe Clairvoyance morning, the Wednesday Spiritual Astrology Show. Now, just so you know, for those of you who've not been on this show before, and it's lovely to see loads of new people all the time. It really is to welcome you guys. And wherever you are in the world, in fact, please let us know where you're coming in from, where you're sat at this present time. It's whether you're in the UK, whether you're in Spain or Belgium or some far off distant island in the middle of some ocean no one's heard of before. Possibly. Anyway, wherever it is. So we just let us know where you're coming from. And what we need, the Spiritual Astrology Show is a combination of mediumship. It's a combination of astrology, spirituality, numerology, and amongst other things. Now, we need your date of birth. And I'll hand over to Guillermo why we need your date of birth.
Oh, because we need your date of birth, because that way I can see the chart of the day of your birth. Not the entire chart, because I'm not going to look at the time of birth, but I do get like a general overview, and so it's convenient to see the astrology of how the stars were on the day you were born. So that's what I need. Why I need it for.
Okay, so that's why I need to do that. So we're not looking, so there's a personal chart which works out your rising sign, the house systems, things like this. But when we're doing a chart, just your date of birth, we can still use the planetary activity, because that's not going to change. And this is so nice. Deb Harris says, love you guys from wet UK. We could do with some rain over here. We miss it.
Oh, yeah. It rained the other day, but it was beautiful when it does.
Oh, it's beautiful when it comes. Okay, this is just to confuse you people out there. This is from Sarah. She says, from Denmark, but in Spain. Okay, so you just got to work that one out this morning. If you just got up this morning, you're going to be scratching your head thinking, what? Where is she from? Anyway, yes. Okay, so there we go. Anyway, so yes, if we have your date of birth, that's good. Also, from your date of birth, you also work out your numerology. Your numerology from your date of birth, which gives us a personal year and your life path. So that's where we need that. Also need a colour from you, because that works for me being an aura medium. Working working on these energies helps me to be able to tune into you guys, to be able to work in that particular area, to work through your colours, to do mediumship and spirituality. That way I see things a lot, just helps me, just gets me into the ether a lot quicker. So the express route. Call it that way. Right. Okay. Can I have yours? Avanish says, can I have yours? It's too cold. I'll tell you what, sometimes it's nice to have cold. At least you put a coat on to keep warm. Here, you go down to your bare little skimpies and you're still so hot. That means like T-shirts, things like that. That's what we mean. Anyway, okay, so the energy out there. First of all, let's have a little chat about attachments. I think that's a very interesting energy to talk about, and what attachments we talk, what do we mean by this? And yes, where do we do that?
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up from something you said before about how time passes by so quickly. Now, have you guys noticed why time passes by so quickly? Like when you're young, time passes by very slowly. But when you get older, the older you get, the quicker the time passes by. So what's going on there? Okay. So for me, it's like when you're young, when you're an adolescent, say for a teenager, you pay attention to every single detail of every single thing that is happening to you. And everything that happens is like, oh, wow, look, this happened to me, that happened to me. I remember when I used to like this guy, and it was like, oh my God, I saw him, and then he looked at me, and then he looked away, and then I took 2 steps, and then we looked back, and it was like every single instant was absolutely amazing. As you grow older, you sort of like put those intense instant present moments, like you shut them away, because you kind of, things don't happen like the way you wish they would. So you kind of like suppress all that, and you suppress all those emotions. So you end up like really not wanting to live all that because it's too intense. So what we're doing is we're not living situations that are too intense. And why not? Because we can't let them go. So if you can't let go of a situation, you can't live the situation intensely either, because it would just override your system. So when there is attachment, it's too much energy just getting clogged up inside you. And then either if you don't let it go, you just put it under the rug and you suppress it. And that's what sort of like makes time go by so quickly in the future, because basically that means you can't live the present moment. And you can't live the present moment if you can't accept things as they are, live them fully, and let them go.
Absolutely. Now that's interesting. Yes, because sometimes then it's interesting because our thought patterns increase in speed because we're trying to cover them up. I totally agree with that. And when we're young, especially anybody who does hypnotherapy, psychotherapy, anything to do with quantum approach to things, quantum physics. Sounds like we're going to get so technical this morning, thinking, how many coffees am I going to need to understand this, to reflect on this? But it's not that. When we're young, our minds work at a very low frequency, but though we're excitable, everything we learn, we absorb, we take in. Hence, our children around us, especially out in Spain here, it's just incredible to see even my friends' children. They go to school. They're like 5 or 6 years old, and by the time they're 7 or 8, they're speaking 3 languages. They get one. I'm struggling even to try and I've got one trying to reflect on something else, learn something else here. But that's because the subconscious just takes it all in. The conscious isn't formed properly until a bit later on in life. And as it gets later on in life here, we then get these conscious thought patterns and be focused just on what we want. But time then accelerates because we're just, it appears to accelerate. In fact, even quantum physicists say that time just does speed up and slow down, even though we've got a clock. It's quantum time is completely different to sometimes Earth time. It's really interesting when you get talking to these guys, and it's like, wow, you need some wine, you need some good food and good nibbles just to listen to this and just go, this is so out there. So out there, it's fantastic. Yes, so attachments, getting back to attachments here. Okay, so sometimes we have various types of attachments, aren't there? There's the ones which are like habits.
Yeah, but habits is almost everything we do. See, because we are not connected to our essence fully. So that means that we connect to that which is familiar. So if we're really connected with our essence, if we're really connected to our higher self, we can just experience life as it comes, and it comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes, and be in the present moment. And it's like, wow, look at this. Wow, look at that. And let it go. Wow, look at that. Let it go. But if not, we get stuck in our old patterns, and we start repeating those patterns.
Okay.
So when we repeat patterns, what we want to do is we want to, like, our ego wants to have the feeling that we are controlling the situation, which we are not. Yeah. So we try to project the past into the future and try to avoid having the same experiences that we don't want from the past, and try to get the ones that we do want from the past by projecting them into the future, which is absolutely ridiculous, because it doesn't work that way.
No.
It's like, no. So we're stuck in this mental pattern, believing that things work a certain way, repeating our past continuously because we're unaware of it. And by virtue of that, we suppress the present moment, and we suppress anything that is too excites too much our central nervous system, because we can't take it. Because we're like, our mental activity is overridden with all this intention of control by the ego, and it doesn't work. So basically, attachment is repetition of the past, not being able to let go because you don't have enough reference of your own essence, and you can't live life like if you were a child.
Yes.
Which is basically how we should be living it. Just be astonished by every single moment and just allow and accept anything that comes and accept anything that goes, because life is not here to threaten or harm you. It's here for you to connect with the best of you.
I think that's very interesting, and especially when we talk about attachments, any form here is interesting because, for example, we come out of a relationship of the past or a home or a situation. And at the time of coming out of the relationship, when it's breaking down, it's obviously not a nice situation. Every now and then I meet people who say here that they broke up on brilliant terms, which is fabulous. And actually, they don't have attachments to it because it was good. It was good. But one that's sort of negative here. Isn't it interesting that we're sometimes driven by those past patterns of attachments that we're missing out on the present altogether? And we're thriving on this, but I want to get back with them. I want to go back to that old way. But then when you really start working and thinking about this, and maybe you guys have got something that you want to interact here as well, is that sometimes when you've actually had the opportunity to go back to something that you thought was so meaningful or so special or so amazing, was it that amazing second time round?
And it's not only that, but for example, I remember having this conversation during lockdown when we were socially isolated, that people were saying, my friends were saying, oh, I miss you, I want to hug you and all that stuff, And I'm like, I love hugs, but I don't miss hugs. And I was like, why don't I miss hugs and why are you missing hugs? And I was like, wait a minute, because if I just close my eyes and remember the hug, I remember it as if it were a present moment. If I don't remember a hug as a present moment, it means that when I was having the hug, I was not having the experience, which means I wasn't present in the situation. So this is, for example, imagine you like somebody and that person is not with you at that moment and you miss the person. Why do you miss the person? Because when you were with the person, you were not present. You weren't with that person, really. You were in your mind in the past or in the future trying to control something.
I love this sort of stuff. Have we got about 3 hours this morning to discuss this? This is interesting. I love the conversations we have. I get so in there with you. It's brilliant. Yes, I think talking about this here, the producers just put this in appropriate timing, press the hearts and share the love. So I think that's lovely. Good. Now, yes, because sometimes here when we actually think about those attachments that we had there, sometimes okay, this is interesting here. Yes, because Emily comes in and she says, it takes me a long time not to dwell in the past, but sometimes it creeps up and I say thank you, but go away. Okay, fantastic. Because when we're at our best, we're living in the present moment. When we are not at our best, we're reflecting too much on days gone by and we're missing out on what's present and what's coming in front. And yet consciously that sounds like, or yeah, it normally sounds like, well, of course that sounds fantastic to live in the present and to look to the future. And yet our emotions are attached to something to the past, especially the amount of people I speak to who want to go back to a situation that was challenging because they felt the victim or because they felt it was very, didn't end right, that it means that they still love or attach to that person and their motives are all driven on that particular area of their life and they're missing out so much on what's coming up now. And often when I find people go back to, they get the opportunity to go back to a relationship which was possibly toxic or difficult, but they still have this fixation on being that in that particular relationship, then suddenly realize, why was I putting so much attention to detail there? And that's sometimes not just the relationship, it's also about upbringing, social stuff, where we're going. If you really think about our present moment, really think about what it is, what we want and where we're going in our lives and what we want our destiny to be. Don't be afraid of it. Enjoy it, embrace it and go for it. And you'll become a better person when we're able to detach from the past, because there were good reasons why we move on. Very good reasons why we move on.
Yeah. The thing is, also, I must add that we're not stuck in the past just because, and especially when we come to partner relationships. I'm going to speak about heterosexual relationships because homosexual relationships, the gender roles are more equated, so it can be a bit different dynamic. But the same, but maybe in a lesser degree, and one can and the two can interchange between them. But in heterosexual, so for example, what's very typical is the person with more oxytocin, which generally is the woman, is going to feel all the attachment issues, hers and his. So for example, she might be at a better place as far as attachment goes, or as far as neediness goes, but he might not be, not too far away, otherwise they wouldn't be together, right?
Yeah.
And he might not notice the attachment issues, like the longing, like I want to be with you, but she would, and she would feel it twice as much. So that's interesting to see. And to understand, because you might be in a relationship, you might feel extra needy in that relationship, and it's not about you, it's about the other person. Of course, there's a part that is yours, but it's more the neediness of the other person who is not able to be in touch with his own feelings. So especially in this way, women feel, the guy react to the feeling. They just react, they move, they go, they separate, they turn away from feeling too much. Whereas the woman gets overloaded by those feelings of attachments. And then all this comes down to, my turn.
Now you're getting your own back. You're getting your own back now.
All this comes back to basically the neediness we feel in relationships. That is not love. I want this to be very clear. That is not love. Love has nothing to do with neediness. Neediness is your inner baby who hasn't had his basic needs fulfilled. And basic needs is food, drink, warmth, rhythm, nurture, comfort, pleasure, security. Okay, so if you didn't have those needs met as a baby, which is very, very normal because there's trauma everywhere. Every mom is traumatized and carries traumatic memories from the past. So it's normal to have not had all the basic needs fulfilled when you were a baby. And because of that, that's going to affect and that's going to screw up all your relationship patterns afterwards as an adult. So any relationship issues you might have, it all boils down to basic needs not met. So if you, instead of going like, I want to see him, I want to go back, you start fulfilling your basic needs as if you were a baby, giving yourself water, giving yourself food, learning how to breathe properly, comforting yourself, having a nice place at home where to be, a nice sofa, I don't know, feeding yourself things that are nice for you, not only food, but also environment, choosing the things that are good for you and realizing what is not good for you and saying, I don't want this. And of course, comfort and security and, feeling good in your body and taking yourself out for a walk when you get too much energy in. So if you fulfill these needs, you're not going to be needy in relationships. So I think it's very important that you realize this. And especially now, because all issues are very much in the air. Like they have been for like a weekend, like from the last eclipse or even the eclipse before that one. It's been varying a little bit, but it's very much in the air. And we're very much feeling that neediness and those attachment issues that really don't let us be who we are, live the present moment, and experiment and enjoy life fully in the present.
This is so engaging. It's brilliant. Oh, thank you very much. I get a chance. No, it's such an enjoyable show, and I love our discussions. I love what you come out with. And it's always like I see this sometimes. Love is an interesting thing, and I totally agree with you about women and men, the way they relate to relationships. Women, I agree with you, that they have their own emotions in a relationship, and then they're also very aware of the man's emotions in the relationship, and the two come together. One thing to be very careful of, and I had some fantastic conversations with people who have gone through dynamics like that this week. And some of the things I pick up on here is they thought that they were in love because the other person was loving them, but actually they're having to work out themselves that actually they weren't loving them, but they felt sorry that that person was loving them. So therefore they felt that there was but I can't let them go. I can't let them go. And it's because that person's loving them, but they're not loving back. But they can't let it go. Let it go because of that, that feeling there. And it's interesting to work people and talk to them and say, can you see what's going on here? Is there a sign here that you're feeling sorry for that person? And sorry is a disaster waiting to happen if you get into a relationship because you feel sorry for them.
Yeah, but Phil, if you feel sorry for a person who's in love with you and you're not in love with that person, all it means is that your mom was too busy doing things when you were a baby and she wasn't
Absolutely.
there for you. So
Absolutely.
what you have
Yes.
to do is nurture yourself. Instead of being sorry, start nurturing yourself to connect with your heart. Otherwise, you will never be in love with anybody because your heart is closed off. And you won't
Absolutely.
even know where to go and what to do in life because your inner radar is turned off. So if you feel sorry for somebody, it's time you start nurturing yourself and start choosing the things that are good for you at every level, starting from the little levels. Like I always say, choose the mug, the color of the mug you're going to take, the
Oh,
what you
yes.
for yourself, the menu, the clothes you're going to wear. Choose every little single thing in your life, and that habit of choosing is going to clear your heart up.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think even this morning when I have my little peanut butter and Marmite toasties, that's something I absolutely love, and I totally agree with you. It's doing the things you love for yourself, which then lets go of that attachment to relationships which are no longer good for you, and you feeling sorry for that person and feeling that you are. Have a responsibility to that person. I totally agree with you. It's to do with parental, especially mother issues. Yes. Wow, what a
Yes,
conversation. What a conversation. Oh
Phil.
my goodness. We're going to
Mandy
have,
says true love is when it happens both at the same time. I
yes.
beg to differ.
Yep.
I beg to differ. Sorry, Mandy. Not necessarily. When what we call true love happens both at the same time, more than often than enough. It's about feeling a strong exchange of energy in between two people. That only talks about an openness and a resonance with the other person, but that resonance can be just to clear up old karmic issues or bring in new information. It doesn't have to do with love. It has to do with openness and you being more in you. Love is something that is something that you have, and it doesn't have anything to do with the other person. That's love. So
Okay.
love is something you radiate. It's you being connected to you and your heart, and you radiate love. But whatever we have in relationships with other people, when there's an exchange of energy and information, that's not love. That's an
Yeah.
exchange of energy and information. It's cool. It's fun. It can be entertaining. It can also be kind of hard sometimes, but it's not love. It's exchange of information.
Yes. Now, there is that thing, though, isn't there? That when you meet someone, you look into that person's eyes and there's that immediate, oh my goodness, there's that attraction, which you don't sometimes get with other people. And as soon as you start engaging and talking, that's an interesting thing. That's an interesting thing. And I think when we talk about love on the spot here, I think there's that initial attraction. Whether we call it love, I'm not sure, but it's an attraction, definitely. Love is, I agree, something that needs to grow and nurture, like watering the flowers or nurturing yourself as much as you're nurturing the relationship. And yes, there's nothing feels better when you're in love, providing you're in love with yourself as much as you're
Yeah,
loving another person. That's
exactly.
the important part. If your existence is just about loving that other person but not yourself, then we've got a bit of an issue going on here. In which case, that person becomes very responsible to you.
The thing is that when you say love grows through time, what happens through time is that you start accepting the other person as he or she is.
Hmm.
And it's not love, it's that you're opening up to the other person and the other person is opening up to you, which means you're bringing down the defenses.
Yes.
But then one thing is being like opening up to your partner after many years, and another different thing is you project all the things that you don't see of yourself onto the other person, and you condemn the other person to act a specific way, to fall into the role you need for that person
Mm.
to be in, and vice
Mm.
versa. So what's going on there, it's not love. So I might get used to you, you might get used to me. I know how you're going to react, I know how I'm going to react, or you know how I'm going to react. So we feel safe, but feeling safe only with a person is not love.
Mm.
Love has to do with openness and growth, and it has to do especially with love to yourself and a connection to yourself, and it is not conditioned to the reaction of the other person.
Yes.
So if you're able to be open and have an open heart for a person in spite of whatever moment that person has, in spite of that person's reaction, or if that person acts like even in a bad way towards you, which doesn't mean that you have to give to that person. Love is not about giving, it's about being and radiating. So if you're to have an open heart, let's think in absolute. So imagine if I'm totally in myself, totally in the present moment, totally connected with my higher self, then I start radiating love like as if I were a sun. When I do that, the way I perceive people is as perfect as they are, and everybody's in the moment that they have to be in. So somebody can be in a bad position, somebody in a good one, somebody can have a bad moment or not. I will not judge that. I will just see how things are and how people are, and everything, and I understand how perfect everything is. From that position, my radiance, my love will be able to lift other people around me if I see them that way. That's love.
We're going to have to come back and talk about this. We're going to talk about
love is codependency, and it has a lot to do with attachment,
yes,
and not to do with just letting go and acceptance.
It's. I think you learn a lot from people when you fall in love with them, and one of the greatest things about long-term relationships, which is a very Saturn thing, in any relationship through astrology, Saturn needs to be involved somewhere for longevity. But Saturn, one of the things it does here is the great friendship in a relationship. You love them, and they're your best friend too. Well, can I just say cheers to you? Now, one person I've got to say a huge thank you to this morning is the producer, because she has run around this morning. There are so many of you guys writing in this morning. Producer's fingers are smouldering. So I just want to say a huge thank you to Deborah, because she's doing a fantastic job there in the background, and we have to give it just say thank you, because the work, I can see the work she's doing at the moment, and she's just reacting and saying hello to everybody. Right, okay. Yes, so thank you very much, Deborah. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Let's go on to.
Can I say one more thing, Phil, since we have time? Because we have less readings today. One more thing is that, having said all that, any relationship you have with somebody is never a mistake. It doesn't matter how poorly it turns up. It is never a mistake. It can be your lifelong partner or not. He can just I don't know, bully you or be a narcissist. It doesn't matter. It is never a mistake. And it will last as long as it has to last for you to incorporate what you have to incorporate about you. So it's always something that it's there for you to be more you. It's for your soul to integrate more. And it's going to last whatever it has to last. Your ego has no idea how much. This all depends on your higher self. So it doesn't matter, like somebody says, oh, you shouldn't be going with that guy, but oh, I can't help letting him go. No, it's just if you can't help, letting him, I can't help but want to be with him, for example. If you can't help but want to be with him, that's what you're feeling right there, then and now, and that is perfect for you. If you can't let somebody go, that is perfect for you right now. That is what you have to live. If you suddenly let go of somebody, that's also perfect. So there should never be doubt around whatever you do around relationships, because it's always perfect as it is. It's always you learning to be you, and it's going to last what it has to last.
Yes, until you learn it. Until I totally agree with you. And it's interesting here. It's the big Saturn thing. It's the big school of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There we go. Right. Okay. Okay, we're back in an hour. I need a break. No, we're not going. We're not going anywhere. Right. Okay. Right. Let's move on now. I think it's time to squeeze in a few readings here, and I think it's about time to go and do that. And first of all, Eleni was coming out of the question here. After Eleni, we're coming to Let. Now, Eleni was saying here, I would like to know if summer's star signs have changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no, they had. So basically, some people say that there's a new constellation. It's called Ophiuchus. It's in November, December, something like that. It's together with Scorpio, blah blah blah. So astrology can have many subdivisions, and there are plenty of different styles of astrology. And also, there's not only the tropical horoscopes, but the sidereal horoscope. So the sidereal horoscope takes into account the precession of the equinoxes.
Yes.
And the tropical ones we use doesn't. So like the lack of adjustments between one constellation and another, we don't do that correction. The sidereal one does. So anyway, the thing is, astrology is just a way of charting information which we read through the stars, but the information is fractal. So you can read that information anywhere you want. You can read it in the tarot cards, in the coffee, your coffee cup, or I don't know, you can read palms, whatever. Any system is a reflection of every other system. For us, it's the most difficult thing for us to do is to look at ourselves. It's way easier for us to look outside and see everything else. So it doesn't matter where you're looking at, everything is a fractal of everything. Also, having said that, our Western mind is very like squared and logical and can't think in symbols. And astrology is all about symbolism. So it's how you deal and how you manage symbols. You can use, like more recently, people are starting to use asteroids and not only the planets to read the charts. You can read a chart with asteroids or without asteroids. It really doesn't matter. The information is there, and the person who is sensitive enough will be able to capture the symbolism that is necessary for the interaction with you through any system of charts or any way of reading, and you're going to be attracted to that person because that's how you have to get that message. So as you see, this is very convoluted because symbolism and reality is much more multidimensional and convoluted that your simple squared mind might think is. So sorry, I don't mean this personally, but what I want to invite you guys and Eleni is to open your mind up that things are not as fixed. Everything is much more abstract, and it all depends on the point of view you're looking at. Having said that, then back to the more squared astronomical perspective. Okay, so look at the sky at night and look at the stars. Have they moved from the place they're in? No, they haven't. So nothing has changed. So what's a constellation? It's a figment of our imagination. It's suddenly somebody looking up saying, okay, these two lines, these two stars go together. Let's draw a line there. But the line isn't there in the heavens. It's just an agreement. It's just something people decide to do. It's like saying if Pluto is a planet or it isn't, now it's a planet again. In case you haven't noticed, it's a planet again, which I'm glad.
That's nice. It's very nice of them. It's very nice of them to redesign it, which I think it should be, because of its influence in astrology. It's huge.
Yeah. Even though it's tiny. So anyway, so as you see, it really, there's no relevance. So having said that, if you suddenly consider, imagine you find an astrologer who says, oh, I believe in a fucus, I believe things have changed, and this is my way of interpreting. That is valid too.
Yes, I think so too. I think so too. Right, okay. I'd like to go and have a chat with Let. That's what's a nice name, Let. Yes, that's a very nice name. Now, okay, Let, you've written in this morning. Now, for you guys here, it's lovely to get, love you guys who have just joined the show, just done it the first time, maybe second time here. On the Wednesday show, this is what we need. So you know this for next Wednesday, because it takes a while for us to get the charts up and to do your numerology and things like this. So some of you guys are written in now saying, oh, I've got my birth details, can I have a reading? It takes it a while to do this. So we need this in advance, but we got your details now, so we can put this on for next Wednesday's show. Such as your date of birth, favorite color, and a question. Because what we need to do here is put those details into the astrological computer to work out your birth chart in order to be able to give you a reading. We can't do that live because it's you'll see us being very distracted from the screens, and we wouldn't. It would let us. It wouldn't make the show as interactive as do. But Let, like a few others here, are written in advance, so we just want to say a big thank you to you. And Let says she's put my glass on here. She says, I had a terrible 18 months. Will I have to leave our home and lose my animals? Well, that's sad. That's a very sad one, that is, especially not just your home, but the animals. I love animals, and I'm sure most of us here do. And when you evolve animals, thinking you've got to let go of those as well, that's not so nice. And I'd like to say here too that we're actually working on your numerology. You're a 213. 213. Now, if I was to look here and say, how are you going to use this? This is interesting here with your numerology itself here. I think here with your two part here is not to sit in silence. not to sit in silence here. I'd say for you to engage, because your 2 is about engagement with people. And if you engage with people and go to find ways of doing things, then you'll probably find a way of doing things. Also here, the 18 months of the past is the past. That's 18 months ago. Now what we're moving into is a new era altogether. So the old past probably will not be relating to the same way as we're doing in front of us. Your 1 part here is about belief in about what you're doing for yourself. So if you believe you're going to lose it all, then that's a bit of a limiting belief, and we're not engaging where we need to go. However, what's coming up here is something interesting. Your present year numerology, your personal year is a 9. It's a 189. Now your 8 is power. Your 8 is power. Your 1 is like, right, that's it. I'm getting my guns out, so to speak. We're getting too militant. Guns to speak, and I'm gonna fight to win. And this is a very powerful energy here you've got here. And I would say to embrace that energy there, because I feel love is all right. Love is a lovely thing, isn't it? We think, oh, but my animals, we can't put love on things here. It's about action we take in front of us in order for our lives to engage forwards. And I'll come back to tarot cards in just a moment, but I would like to go straight over to Guillermo and just
So I got lost a little bit there with Let's question was about losing.
Yes, if I read that question again, had a terrible 18 months. Will I have to leave our home and lose my animals? Will she have to leave our home and move and lose our animals?
Okay, so in Let is the sun in Leo, and Leo in this year has to learn to stop resisting. Stop looking at the past all the time.
Yeah.
Because the tendency is always to look at the past and to want things to be different than they are. So that gives you a sense of being frustrated. So the key here is if you feel frustration, let go of where you're looking at and let things happen. Normally, we don't have to lose the things we have if we let go of the thoughts that are holding us to the past. Does this make sense? Okay.
It
so
does.
You don't
Hopefully
have to
your
lose what you
understanding
have. Exactly. It's a bit like what Phil was saying. You don't have to lose your own past, but if you insist in looking at the past, you probably will end up losing everything that is there. So your mind gets detached from where you're focused on.
Yeah.
Also, you have North Node in Pisces, which is like go with the flow. South Node in North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. So South Node Virgo wants everything to be a certain way and tell everybody how things should be done. And it's not about expecting people to be a certain way or to act a certain way. It's about just, letting go. Mm-hmm. Also, you have a in Mercury and with the moon. And that Lilith, with Venus. With Venus, it's very codependent. With Moon and Cancer, it's you have a big neediness inside you. So I suggest let you take care of those baby wounds that I was talking about before, those inner baby wounds, because the reason you are fixated on the past, it's because those needs weren't met by your mom when you were a baby. So that leaves you in this sense of, what if I don't have, and that can make you get very desperate and think that everything depends on what you have to do. I have to do something. I have to do something to feel good, to feel secure, to have my needs met. And it's more about just going with the flow, letting go, not worrying. Also, Pluto, Virgo, go to Pisces, be more Piscean. Just let go. Don't do anything. Let things happen to you. Let things come to you.
Yes, I think yes. I think even if you had to move, it does not mean you're going to lose all your animals. Not mean you're going to lose it. Yes, we're worrying far too much. We look at this the wrong way. We've got the Page of Cups here, which is like, I'm feeling hurt. I want someone to take this away from me, these problematic times. Money is coming in. And end of the old times. It is about thinking for the new. It is about finding ways which I think you would take back your power. In a sense here, by your cards, there's a little bit of a feeling here of living in the past. We've got to live in the present and the future. There's also going to be a real change of lifestyle here. We've got the Chariot here, a real change of lifestyle, which is going to bring things up for the better. It may well be here. And this is a funny thing to say to you, and I would just say, I think that Pisces bit of just living and let go with the flow is a beautiful thing, because if you did move, what would happen if you lived in a better place?
I got the impression, like, for example, imagine if when you were a baby, I don't know, mom dropped some hot water on you and burnt you. And so suddenly there's this shock, but mom, instead of reacting well, reacts poorly and doesn't know what to do and just leaves you there. So you're suddenly left shocked, burnt, feeling guilt, your mom's guilt, and alone all at the same time. So with that kind of imprint, when you grow up, it's very difficult to face like changes or sudden situations, and it's very difficult to cope with a lot of things, because the emphasis on inner security is very, very large, very big.
Yes. Yes. Hopefully that helps you out there. Hope it lets you out. Lovely to welcome on the show. And I could just work out your thumbnails there and see lovely animals around you, which is beautiful. And yes, absolutely, I'm sure. Well, we both love animals, and I think it's a beautiful thing. So, guys, thank you, Let, and right, let's go and have a little chat to Venetia. What a lovely name! What a lovely name Venetia is. What a lovely name. And Venetia writes in, and she wants to say, let's just thank you so much. Well, it's an absolute pleasure. And Venetia says, right, is all hard work I'm putting into everything going to work out for me? Is everything that I'm going to do? So, that's so nice. Even Guillermo's reacted. Isn't that lovely? She puts a kiss and a hug. Isn't that nice? Lovely. Okay, right. Let's just come back here. Let's go and find you, Venetia. There you are. Good. So what does my future hold? She's hard work putting in. Well, you're a 303. 303 in numerology. That's great. It's also distracting. You're thinking, oh, fantastic news. Just what I wanted to hear. And the reason being here is because your 3 is out there, wants to learn, it wants to gain, wants to communicate, wants to chat, wants to gain things here. What we got to do here is the ability to focus and not jump about. The ability to focus, work towards one thing here. If you're doing that, great, because your life path is 3, your personal year is 7. And that's sometimes like going into the cave to go, do some thinking, going into the cave of reflection. Numerology, this is very much a spiritual number, very psychic number, but it's also one of deep thinking, understanding things, relating through wisdom, through time. And is all hard work and putting into everything going to work out for me? I would say here you've got a karmic 0 in your 3. What additional tool, what additional energy would you like to add to this that maybe you've been holding back on a little bit, which could help you to make everything you're going into work out fine? Venetia, you've got a lovely energy here. And I think sometimes here you're, without being rude to you one little bit, and maybe you'd understand this, I think some people absolutely adore you and some people just dislike you. Well, that's good, because that means you said you've got a life force. You've got a life force here, and you're resonating on yourself. This really is about resonating on yourself, though, and focusing on yourself. Doing that, and I think that drives you towards your success. And yes, so I work on this. There's part of that 7 there is to work on that, and that year you're going through to work on yourself in that respect. And yes, okay, Gemma, what would you like to say?
Okay, hi Venetia. So Venetia is a Scorpio, Sun Neptune in Scorpio, Mercury conjunct Mercury in Sagittarius, because Sun and Neptune are at the end of Scorpio. There's also Lilith is with Pluto in Cancer, just like Let also had Lilith in Cancer, and with the Moon, with Chiron. So basically, what all this tells me is that you have a lot of energy, and that energy should not be allowed to be pent up and stuck. So even though Phil mentioned something about going into a cave, I would never sit in a sofa inside a cave. In any case, it would be doing something artistic and creative inside a cave, so you get the energy moving. So
yes, I agree.
when you have all this energy going through you, this is to be put into service for others. There's a North Node in Pisces again, because both of you are 1969. So that North Node in Pisces is, as I said before, you need to go with the flow. You need to just do what your energy is telling you to do at each moment, and don't think twice about it. So nurture yourself, like Phil was saying. Take care of yourself. But be very creative and move all the time. I don't know, move, dance, use your energy, because if you stay still, it's too much energy. It's too difficult to hold. Anyways, the moon Aries won't let you stay still much anyway. So
no. No. So I think your seventh part is about tuning into your spiritual self, your psychic self, and your higher self in order to put this into practice here. Now, the interesting thing here is you said here, I met you in Altea in Artie. That's a fabulous place. Artie. I remember that place there. It's a lovely little place. It's a very narrow, quite a narrow sort of bar that just goes up and up and up and up. Different levels. It's a very artistic place, so, because it's very where the arty people go. So that's what we call it, Artie in Altea. And that's a mouthful when you had a few tiddly bits. Anyway, yes. Now, one of the things I'd say here is with this as well is I'm just going to shuffle your cards for you and see where this is going, Venetia. And I totally agree with what you're saying there. There is a real energy here that says that I think you should still solely believe in what you're doing and focusing on that energy there. And that 3 is an out there number. It's not an in there number. Yes, right.
creativity.
1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to go for the right. Whilst you're doing this, Mandy has just come in, and we've got a little bit of time for this, and I'll pass this over to you whilst I'm doing the cards there, if that's all right with you, Gimar. This is Mandy. She's the 13th. There's her date of birth there, and she just wants to do, and I'll do your card reading here. Which is for you, Venetia. I'll just wait until you've got those numbers there, then I can put you back up on the screen. You right there? Okay. Right, Venetia, back up there. Right, okie dokie. You're going to be making money. You're going to be looking at different options around you with your 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups. I like these energies. The 8 of Coins, always I find it is like, I found the way. Found the way sort of energy. It's a real forward thinking, positive. I can latch onto something else to make something work, and it's always I always find it a very productive card that brings an opportunity to make us look better here. What you need, my dear, is patience. You have temperance, but it's a bit reversed. So it's patience. This will all work just in time. And that's the Pisces bit. And when you try to add patience in, when you've got Pisces, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If you've got Aries and you're impatient, oh God, yes, does it ever. When you've got that Pisces bit, that intuition just says, play the long game. Play the long game. I often find it some wonderful Pisceans have won in life by playing the long game and being persistent, no matter what adversity. A lot of Pisceans here win through that particular element here. And would you understand here working for yourself? Would you understand here following your own pathway? And would you understand here going for your wishes here? The only thing I pick up here with this Magician card here is to, yes, work towards your games here. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for, because sometimes here with a magician, it could be it could be a huge, powerful energy. So don't set up things that are just too much. But yes, I'd say that energy. And hopefully, my dear, that makes sense to you. And I'm sure we'll all bump into each other again very soon. Everybody's saying hello. Isn't this nice? Isn't this nice? And the producer says, please visit our Cafe Clairvoyance page and join our Cafe Clairvoyance group. We're on YouTube. Our website is cafeclairvoyance.com. Now, sometimes the reason why I'm going to say here, join the Clairvoyance group, because we're going to do some material in front of us where we're going to do some live things, but it'll be inside the group. It won't be on the Clairvoyant page. So highly recommend you join the group. Highly recommend. Okay, let's go and have a little look. We got, yes, we've Just because there's Mandy. Yes. Mandy says gold, 38, 347, 347. So the 3, I would say here is very much it's similar to the energy 4, but we've got a 4 in this time. So the 3 is the communicator, to be out there, to learn, to talk, to see. The 4 is which the 3 is an excitable energy. That's out there. Oh, I've discovered this. I've discovered that. I know this. I know that now. And is quite out there. It's amazing. Then your 4 comes in and says, "Can we slow down?" Can we slow down? It says here, process this and look for facts. Process this and look for facts. Your 7 here which is made up of this here, says you've got this lovely excitable energy of out there communication knowledge, and we're accelerating thought. But our heart is a little bit further back here, just to say, can we just process this a little bit and take it in? Then you get the truth, and you get the truth around you. And if I'm looking, and I would say here too, by this here, just talking here, the lovely gentleman here coming through. Lovely gentleman wants to come through. Very old man, very old man, he says here, and he's given me the chesty cough feeling here. And as he's talking away, he just wants to say to you, he says that he feels that your life path is changing over the next sort of 6 months or so, but go with it. Go with change. Go with change. It's going to come up for the better for you. Initially, there may be a protest. I wouldn't protest. I'd say go with it. Okay. Go on then. Right. Okay, Gimma, what would you like to say? General reading for Mandy. Anything that you'd like to add in?
So Mandy's a sun in Leo, a moon in Pisces, North Node in Scorpio.
Oh, we've got it all here.
And Lilith is in Pisces too, with Uranus and Saturn. So the main theme for Mandy here is about how you relate to people. It's like, on the one hand, your sun in Leo wants to shine, wants to, here I am, I want to be me. But then there's a Pluto-Mars conjunct in Leo-Virgo, Pluto and Leo, Mars in Virgo. Pluto-Mars conjunct is like, you can't have your way ever, unless you understand that everything has a higher purpose. But anyway, it's a very frustrating combination, because like, I'm a Leo, I want to do things my way. It's like, nope, you're not going to have it your way. So then your Lilith Uranus says, oh, I'm the odd one out, I'm the scapegoat, I can't have what I want, people will bully me. Like, I imagine this was when you were a child. And then there's Saturn Uranus asking for individuation. And all the time, that moon in Pisces says, well, look, since I can't have it my way, since I'm like the odd one out, since I'm kind of weird, I'm not going to be me. I'm just going to take care of everybody else. And, it looks fine that way. And it's not about taking care of everybody else. It's about, like Lilith in Pisces, when it's resonating high, knows that you can't really connect to people the way that most people connect to them. Imagine, like, if it's not that you're autistic, but imagine if you were, you wouldn't be able to relate to people in the same way that everybody else relates, and you would feel that difference. So it's about finding a medium to connect with others. It can be anything artistic, anything manual, anything symbolic, a different way of connecting to others. But your North Node in Scorpio says, and your Neptune in Scorpio, you have to connect to others. You have to really feel other people's energies, but don't get scared by it and don't go cleaning it up. It's just about you being you, connecting to others in a different way than people would think, I mean, having said that, because of the year you were born, I imagine that much of this you're already aware of, but in case there's anything, I hope I've contributed to something.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, we've got here. Oh, yes. Loads of change coming in around you with the Chariot. But we've got these oppositions here with the cups and the pages, which are upside down, reversed. So it's almost like thinking, but this isn't right. This is not what I want. What I want here. And actually it's saying here, well, actually the higher purpose here is saying, yes, it is good. It's good here. What you're leaving behind, though, is old stress. You're leaving behind old stress. Yeah. So where you're going, and I'll just pick up, this is a bit later on this year, you're going to find yourself in a completely, feeling a different life around you. And I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. Now let's squeeze another one in here. Let's just go back to sorry, just a second ago I was looking for it now. There we go. Mandy and
Helen. No?
no, Helen's just gone. She just had to leave. But if we go on to Deb 8, oh, there you are, Deb 8. Yes, there you are. 2nd of 12th, 1964, 257, general reading. Let's have a little look at this and see what you're doing. Helen had to leave, so without being horrible to Helen, I'd rather work with people who, we'd love it with people watching the show. Now, Deb, let's have a look here. 257. Your 2, like your 2 here. 2 is about relating to people, and your 5 is about energy, to have freedom. Why do I get the feeling here that you sabotage your freedom? There's a feeling here, this is a lovely energy which you have here. If you exploit your freedom and you work as the independent, some people really engage and connect with you. The moment you start to become what the other person wants you to be, that's not the image which is, or the energy which I pick up here you need to go and do. Now, if I was to say here, Deb, where you're going your life in front of you, I get a feeling here you're going to be making a lot of noise, if I can put it like that, about what you would like to do, especially career life in front of you. And sometimes here, the noise here it needs to be quite focused here. However, the energy which is going to work with you is not the noise or the focus you're trying to put in. The energy is going to work with you is working through your heart and just saying, let things come to you, and they certainly do. And there's a funny thing here. Your grandmother is here. Your grandmother just stepped right into the aura, the ether between us both here. She is really working to injure here. Would you understand if I said to you that, I know it's an old thing grandpas used to say, that all good things come to those who wait. And it's not necessarily about the waiting, but it's about the way we're doing things here. It's about being in your own lovely energy. And there's an artistic side to you. There's a creative. There's something very beautiful about what you do. And I would say here that there's a need here somewhere with you. There's a need here to believe in what you're capable of, a real belief, to heighten that belief. And but your grandmother here is absolutely lovely, sending her love, and I almost get the name of a flower around her, like Rose, for instance. And very, very nice lady, and but she's sending loads and loads and loads of love. Okay, I'm gonna pop over to you, Guillermo.
So, what's her name?
Deb.
Deb. Sorry, Deb. So Deb's a Sag, but also a Pluto Mars in Virgo. Also a North Node without any aspects, but this time in Gemini. Saturn with no aspects. Mercury, Lilith with no aspects. This is interesting. So there's a lot of parts of Mandy of Deb that go on, like you don't have any control over that. Mm-hmm. So all your Capricorn side wants to be able to control things and have it, like there's Moon in Capricorn and then Mercury and Lilith in Capricorn. So there's an aspect of you that wants to have everything under control. And then your Sun in Sag, it's like suddenly your imagination goes all over the place. And so it can be kind of weird to have these two sides. And then the North Node in Gemini saying, connect those two sides. And we're going to have a nodal return soon because it's at 2258, so that's an interesting aspect to live. And so it's about making peace with yourself. It's about uniting the different sides of yourself. So maybe from a patriarchal point of view you can't, because if you think life is what we've thought has been up until now, then it's not possible. But if you start realizing that things can be multidimensional and three-dimensional at the same time, and
yes,
yeah, that things can be weird and normal at the same time. That it's not about what you want, how you want things to be. It's how you think things are going to be. That's how you create your reality. So it's a really big shift in paradigm that you have to do and that your mind has to go through to be able to work with that quantum mind.
Yes, that's an interesting way of putting this. I love all that explanation about that, and I think there is a real energy about you, Des, which is absolutely lovely. I'd love to meet you one day. You must be a bundle of fun. Bundle of fun and energies. Brilliant. Right. Okay. Let's just have a little look here. And also here, I think is mother's side of the family here. I get the feeling here being very responsible, feeling that you have to do things for mother there. Okay. Loads of you joining in. Lovely to see you guys. Lovely to see you guys here. But right. Okay. Robin from New Zealand. Hello to you again. Hello. 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 Right. Okay. So we have got here. Oh, you're letting go of people. And who's going to be the victor? I'm looking straight at her. Yes, there she is. Not Guillermo. I mean, you, Debs. And yes, it's about freedom. It's about freedom in your life where you're going. Freedom is about expressing this, being free, being happy, not holding on to the past the way people used to try to control, manipulate. It's being your beautiful, beautiful self. That's the energy I'd say. Oh dear, what a morning. What a morning. Now, Robin just got your details there. So Robin, just let you know here, the show actually starts an hour ago, but it's not a problem, but just let you know here, we'll be doing this again next Wednesday. We'll take your details over to the Sunday show and also to the Wednesday show next week. Yes, sorry I have to go to work. Bye. Isn't it lovely, the amount of people who stop work, listen to the show. Emily's one of them. We're not telling her boss because... yes, anyway, Emily is the boss, probably. Anyway, so lovely seeing you guys. It's been a terrific morning. Lovely conversations here again. And initially, we're going to have a constellations about being your opposite sign. Now, we're going to have to chat about this next Wednesday. We started, I was about to head into that, and then we suddenly got into attachments, and that was it. We were off. Anyway, yes. Oh, no problem, Robin. Says the time difference got me a bit confused. Sorry. No, please don't say sorry. It'd be lovely to see you on the show. So it's an hour earlier, which is 11 o'clock in Spain. 11 o'clock in Spain, 10 o'clock UK. And if you're in New Zealand, I think it's about 8 o'clock. 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening where you guys are. Right. Great show again. Thank you very much, Honey Monster. Thank you very much. Hour flown by. See you Friday. Take care. Yes, going to be doing a little thing on Friday. And possibly Monday too. Have a little chat with Guillermo about that. Anyway. Oh. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful remainder to your week. See you on Friday. See you on Sunday. See you on Monday. See you on Tuesday. See you on Wednesday next week. Why have a day off?
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, hope you enjoyed today's show from the producer. Please like us on the Cafe Clairvoyance page and help us to raise our Facebook page profile. More likes the better. It's a free show, guys. Just like it, share it, do whatever you do. Even Robin out there in New Zealand, please like and share the show. I know you probably do. And it's lovely to see you guys. What I love here is as we say goodbye, the amount of people who pop up been watching it, but we didn't see them on the show. But it's lovely just to know you guys are out there, especially Sally. Thank you very much indeed, and see you soon. Yes, and Tyler, good morning. Good morning. And right, I love this. Sneakily at work. That's right. You've got to hide your writing pad, or for you is to stick your phone here in a flower pot and just work around that flower pot, because I know you work in a garden centre. That's a great way to do it. Stick it in a tree, just like you're pruning a tree, but you're watching the show on the camera. Magic, isn't it? Magic. What a way to go. Anyway, okay, guys, take care. It's been absolutely fabulous morning once again. I love this show. It's so interactive. I sort of come away from it, and by the afternoon, I've sort of calmed down. Anyway, see you guys very soon. See you guys Friday. Have a lovely week. And Guillermo, thank you so much for interacting again. Take care.